They're supposed to protect their military colleagues from sexual assault, but now they themselves stand accused of perpetrating the crime. An Army sergeant being investigated for abusive sexual contact and possible involvement in a prostitution-related activity at Fort Hood, Texas. Separately, an Air Force officer in Virginia was arrested after he allegedly attacked and groped a woman. Both come as a recent Pentagon report showed a sharp jump in sexual assaults last year, up 30% from 2010. But despite an estimated 26,000 incidents, just 3,300 were actually reported. Army veteran Nicole Bowen is all too familiar with this topic. She was assaulted, allegedly by her sergeant, during a tour of duty in Iraq. She joins us live now. Nicole, welcome.
Thank you.
You characterized your tour as a, quote, constant rape threat. Tell us what that's like.
You know, it wasn't easy serving in the military. I'm proud to have served the country, and at the same time, there was nothing really put in place to protect anyone, men and women, or to make it easy to report a situation. So I chose not to report. And rather than go through the chain of command that I didn't feel would protect me and keep my information safe. And
can you sort of outline for us how you were treated by the people around you as you were serving your country in Iraq?
Sure. I mean, there were amazing people that I made and great friends, but there were people that weren't. It was like I was almost a piece of meat. I would every day get propositioned for sex by people that I was serving with. Every day was harassment in some form.
And I mean, you're accusing your sergeant of sexually assaulting you. It's just hard to believe that this was the person you would probably trust the most, right? And you say he betrayed you.
Well, anyone that's above higher ranking is someone that's supposed to look out for their soldiers. And I was lower enlisted, and that didn't happen. So, yeah, it was shocking.
And I know the case is still dragging on 2 years later because you did file a complaint. And do you know what the status is? I mean, are people in contact with you?
Yes. The claim is being processed. It's actually progressed, so I should have an answer within the next few weeks, I'm hoping.
And what about the
man?
man?
It's been almost 2 years.
What about the man, the sergeant? I mean, do you know what his status is now?
Not at all. I mean, I know that he was eventually promoted, and that's really all I know. I didn't follow up. I don't know anything about him.
So we have heard from more than one defense secretary that sexual abuse within the military will not be tolerated and something will be done. Yet, 2 officers who were put in place to help solve the sexual assault problem within the military have now been accused of sexual assault themselves. When you hear that kind of stuff, what goes through your mind?
I wish that I really had an upset reaction, but it just seems like that's very typical. I'm not surprised.
Well, you know, I was wondering, when these 2 men were being interviewed for these positions, what questions were they asked? I mean, it's just mind-boggling that this could happen twice.
Agreed. And I'm sure it's not just twice, but that's what's in the media. So there's a problem, and it needs to be addressed.
Is it sort of like
and there's real people that are impacted.
And you know, 26,000 cases reported. That's mind-boggling too. So, what is it about the military culture that allows this kind of behavior?
I think a lot of the control is in the commander's hand. So commanders, in order to get promoted, will not report rapes. It reflects poorly on them. So I think the control needs to be taken away from the commanders and put more in a civilian system so that people are more protected, men and women.
Yeah, I was just wondering, as I was reading about your story, that you were propositioned many times and it continued, it never stopped. And was it by underlings? Was it by everyone? I mean, was it sort of a pack mentality? What do you think it was?
It was by everyone. It wasn't just a different rank or officers or enlisted. It was just really normal. I was one of the few women out there on the deployment. So, it was like acceptable to be overtly kind of harassing women. It was very normal.
What do you
and
think,
other people were around.
What do you think should be done?
That's really difficult. And I know the problem is not just for women being raped in the military, it's men too, more men than women. And I just think we need Congress and our military, people running the military to get together and maybe work on changing the system, changing the laws in the military, which are separate from the civilian laws. Like the Uniform Code of Military Justice is totally different, and it protects, like it's a boys' system, and it's not working, obviously.
Obviously.
And people are getting hurt. Yeah.
I know you're writing a book called The Lady Warrior Project as part of your recovery, and you have a website of the same name. Tell us about that.
I do. I'm creating the book with other female soldiers that have served in combat. So it's a story of about 22 women in combat and what their experiences were like serving overseas.
All right, we look forward to that. Nicole Bowen, thank you so much for sharing your story. We appreciate it.